Yeah. Okay, well, welcome to Lorecast Eternals. Welcome back. It's felt like it's been forever.
Yeah, it's felt like it's been a solid month, but it hasn't. We just haven't done research in a month. Our last episode was bullshit, literally.
And we had a month to do this, and we still waited to the exact last day to do research.
I mean, to be fair, we've covered a lot of this, just never in this detail.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
And even this is going to be vague, because there's a lot to go.
I mean, it's not going to be super vague, but...
Compared to how much information there was, I think it's going to be decently vague still.
Yeah, so today we'll be covering the Realmgate Wars. I feel like understanding the Realmgate Wars because
that's kind of the setup for the entire Age of Chaos.
Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar. Just the premise of the game. It's
Sigmar.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the closing. So, just to give everybody a little bit of backstory, there's 3 distinct ages in the Age of Sigmar. There's the Age of Myth, the Age of Chaos, and the Age of Sigmar proper.
I feel like we covered this a whole lot, but
yeah, but this is just a refresher. You know, it's been a few episodes since we covered that.
Go ahead.
But the Age of Sigmar starts with the Realmgate Wars, so we figured this would be a good place to start off for this would be a good launching point for the rest of what we're going to be covering in the near future.
This is, if not the most important, one of the most important scenarios to happen in the entirety of AOS lore, because this launches us directly into where we are now, and a bunch of really, really, really important shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally the premise of the entire game. When the game first came out, Realmgate Wars was the launching point.
Yeah. And it had to deal with like them fighting Khorne, but it's what it really is. It's
a lot of it was fighting Khorne, but yeah.
It's not one war. It's as it states, it's Realmgate Wars.
It's a lot.
There's a series of wars, and it actually came out as a book series, and so there's like I think over 11 books that are part of the Realmgate War series.
There's a lot.
Weak looks directly at the Horus Heresy with 50 plus books.
Okay, no. AOS is like 5 years old at this point, or 6 years old. 40k is like 30.
Yeah, but I don't think the Horus Heresy is that old.
Yeah, but Black Library...
No, I guess they started publication in like 08. So
they've been able to expand on that lore, and this is specifically only in the Realmgate Wars.
Yeah.
The Horus Heresy has to do with a lot of pre-heresy stuff.
And also AOS has like one really, really good writer, where Black Library, or at least like the Horus Heresy has like 4 really, really good writers.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah. So they just have more resources.
Welcome to the Age of Reynolds.
Yeah, really.
Basically.
Anyway, moving along though, let's go ahead and jump right into this and get our shindig started.
One more thing, we're trying a different format of knowledge giving in this episode, so we're not really going to have like set up pieces that we specifically talk about. We more just have like one gigantic sheet that we've all contributed to, and it's going to be more of a fluid conversation than rather just like Mitchell's going to talk about this, and Phil's going to talk about this, and Jacob's going to talk about this. It's going to be a little different, so just so y'all know.
If anything, we should start off with this one bit of information. Look to your left as we look at my computer screen. The combatants of the Realmgate Wars.
Excuse you, my left is your door.
I wasn't talking to you, Philip.
Wow, use a dick.
So the combatants, yeah. So it's basically the Grand Alliance of Order versus the Grand Alliance of Plot Armor. I mean Chaos.
Yeah, so like Stormcast, Sylvaneth, Fire Slayers, and Space Lizards.
Which is really funny. It's only those 4, given how colossal the war was.
Yeah,
because
I think those are the ones that actually cared.
Yeah, everyone else like Tyrion, Teclis, Marathi,
the elves were
Malarian,
basically
they were all fucked off.
non-existent,
Gorka Morka was off doing Gorka Morka things. Nagash was busy dying and coming back to life.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Nagash was in the middle of some internal strife.
When the Realmgate War started, he was dead.
Yeah.
But Nagash never stays.
And then on the opposite side of the ring, we got the ever-chosen Blades of Khorne, Magakin and Nurgle, Disciples of Tzeentch, Hedonites of Slaanesh, Skaventide, and Beast of Chaos.
Literally every Chaos faction, basically.
Yeah, it's literally the Grand Order of Chaos.
Yeah.
The only thing missing out of the Grand Order of... Or the Grand Alliance...
Grand Alliance of Order.
I said the Grand Order of Chaos. The Grand Alliance of Chaos is what I meant. And then the only thing missing from the Grand Alliance of Order at this time would have been the Elves, Nagash, and Gorka Morka. Because at this specific time, I believe the Orcs and Nagash were still aligned with Order.
No,
I think.
No.
So the orcs.
No, Nagash, because Nagash fucked off from the Pantheon of Order and the Age of Chaos, because there's a whole thing where Sigmar was actually holding the all points, and then Nagash fucked off, and that's why he lost the all points.
That's right.
And Gorka Morka left because Tzeentch was like, hey, you a bitch for following Sigmar. And Gorka Morka was like, you're right, I am a bitch for following Sigmar. I'm going to not be a bitch now. And he fucked off and went to Gorka.
That's right.
Also,
I can never remember.
During the start of the Realmgate Wars, the Alliance of Destruction actually tried to prove themselves by fighting the Sigmarines.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Stormcast over here drowning the orcs. More water.
But losses and survivors. No, losses are just heavy, and that's about it.
Basically, everyone who wasn't a demon or a Stormcast perma-died.
And actually, there were a fair number of Stormcasts that ended up with permadeath too.
When you get eaten by Drogo, there's not much
no, not even. Like there was a couple of the battles that they fought in where like they would end up falling into like pits and like falling into the void and shit like that. And literally, Sigmar was like, I can't find their souls again.
Yeah.
Like I just can't find them. And so they're
just gone. Like they're not dead; they're just lost in the void, which is arguably worse.
Yeah, realistically.
Yeah. So as a quick rundown of what was happening during the entirety of the Realmgate Wars, this is a very, very short paraphrase. And I stole this from the Lexicanum. During these wars, the forces of order under Sigmar sought to reconquer the Realm Gates, gain allies to rebuild the pantheon of the Age of Myth, and free the mortal realms from the tyranny of chaos. Chaos sought to hold onto the conquered lands and invade Azir. Nagash's forces sought to reconquer the territories of Shyish during the Second Wars of the Dead, and Gorka Morka followers sought to prove themselves against Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah, basically the orcs wanted to prove that they weren't bitches, and the Stormcast were just sitting there like, "Bruh, could you please fuck off for like?"
Stormcast like, "This is not the fucking time."
You will have your time.
You'll get your turn, goddammit.
It's called 3.0. Get over it.
I can just see like
Dominion.
I can just see Gorka Morka coming in, smash shit, and Sigmar's just like, bruh, why?
I'm trying my best here.
Why would you do this to me?
So yeah. How do we want to go from here? Would we like to go from the actual legitimate start?
Yeah, that would be the Battle of Brimstone Peninsula, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, if I remember correctly, it was the first fight. Yeah, it was the first fight because basically Sigmar just yoked his kids out of the sky, and they crashed on the ground, a blazing storm of lightning, and the Sigmarines were like, "Sup, bitches! I am here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum."
Yeah. No, whenever we first started this podcast, we were talking about the Age of Sigmar. In our first episode, I read that quote from the core rulebook about for the first time the Gortide knew fear.
That's basically what happened. Because the premise of the Battle of Brimstone was the main man himself, Vandus Hammerhand, who was literal like Scarbrand, literally fucking everywhere during the Realmgate Wars.
Oh my god! Like the first half of the Realmgate Wars is just, and Vandus Hammerhand
basically,
was here, and it's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
So Vandus crashes down. I believe it's at the Realmgate into Azir, because the goal of the Battle of Brimstone Peninsula was to destroy the Gateway of Wrath, which was the Realmgate that I believe connected the 8 points to Azir.
No. It connected directly into Khorne's realm.
Yeah, so they wanted to blow the fuck up so they can actually go do a Stormcast thing. So Vandus,
because it was basically right outside the Realmgate to Azir.
Yeah, because that was the dangerous thing, was like if they had lost, he had to open the gate, and if they had lost, they'd have came in. Yeah. But Vandus came down with the Hammers of Sigmar, and he got his 1v1 with Korgus Cole again, and Korgus Cole was the leader of the Gortide. The Gortide was the fucking gigantic warband of chaos warriors and demons that basically murder fucked two of the 8 realms by themselves.
So most of his warriors were actually mortals.
Yep.
They granted there were like Bray herds and things like that were part of it, but it was mostly mortals.
It was mostly mortals. Yes.
Yeah. The funny thing about that story though is that Vandus actually was kind of getting his cheeks clapped. like Corvus Cole was kind of kicking his teeth in, and Vandus Hammerhand was like, Sigmar, are you there? Can you help me out, fam? And Sigmar was like, I got you, fam. Yeet! And just like chunked a thunderbolt down and struck Corvus Cole down.
Lightning bolt.
And Vandus was like, oh, thank God I'm alive.
And there's actually a bit of a blood feud between that, because before Vandus Hammerhand got picked up by Sigmar to become a Stormcast Eternal, he was the leader of a chieftain in Akshi, one of the biggest tribes in Akshi, and he was killed personally by Corvus Cole. Him and his entire tribe. So he already had a fucking bone to pick with this motherfucker. And
he comes back down and is like, bitch, you know me? And Cole is like, hey, wait a second, I killed this bitch before. Mm-hmm. So he's like, and I'm gonna do it again. And then Sigmar took offense to that.
So Corgus gets his cheeks clapped because he gets lightning bolted from the sky. And the battle culminates with Vandus basically sacking himself, because, they don't actually die. Yeah. Sacking himself at the Gateway of Wrath. Which generated a gigantic bolt of lightning, which broke the gate.
Yeah, and then I think it was 3 bolts of lightning. But yeah, basically they blew it the fuck up.
So the gate goes down, which means there's no longer chaos there. So then Sigmar could, with impunity, go, you get a storm host, and you get a storm host, and you get a storm host, and just dumped all of his kids out of the sky.
Oh yeah. One important thing to note is this was basically a single unified attack across the majority of the 8 realms. Like, he didn't just drop the storm hosts in on just the Burning Peninsula. He did these precision strikes across the entirety of the mortal realms.
Which is actually really funny, because when the Age of Chaos started, Archaon attacked all of the All-Gates at once, basically, which is almost the exact same thing that Sigmar did.
Oh, yeah, no, Sigmar was straight up like, well, that worked well for him. I wonder if I can make that work for me. And
after 500 years, you start to lax in your defense just a tad bit.
Yeah. He was like, he's waiting, he was like, yes, I caught them slipping. Yeet, have some golden demigods.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's basically the Battle of Brimstone Peninsula, and that was the first battle of the Realmgate Wars, and that signaled the beginning of not only the Realmgate Wars, but also the Age of Sigmar themselves, because the Brimstone Peninsula was the first time that Stormcasts were ever seen. And
it is the legit start of the Age of Sigmar.
And that's when the Chaos was like, oh yeah, we have a problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And that's before they learned about the Redeemed. Or that's not what they call him. That's just his title, isn't it?
I forget what their chamber's called, but yeah, they're
no, it's not a distinct chamber. It's just what them as a group, the title they are given.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll cover what we're talking about here in a second. Moving on though.
And the next thing is let's see, the Battle of Anvork is where they saw the hammer that was lost.
Yep. The Battle of Anvork is what led to the Helden Hammer Crusade, which is when Sigmar wanted to get his mallet back.
Galmaraz.
Yeah, because Galmaraz ended up in Shimon in the hands of Tzeentch. So basically, there were some storm hosts that were going to Shimon. I forget exactly what they were trying to do, but they weren't going there for the hammer because they didn't know it was there.
Yeah, they wanted oh shit, what was it? Oh, it's not written down. If I remember correctly, the whole reason they went to Anvrok was to try to take the Realm Gate there, I think.
Yeah, something
it was completely coincidental that they were there, and then the Tzeentch's disciple who were
sent to connect to the Durden.
Yes,
that's right. They were looking for the dwarves.
They were trying to see if the dwarves were alive.
Yeah.
But they got to the keep where the cult of Tzeentch, where the Tzeentch's cult had the hammer, and they had hellacious amounts of
sorcerers.
No. Resistance. There was a lot of resistance, and they were like, there's no reason why there should be resistance here. Mm-hmm. What the fuck's going on? There must be something important going on here. So they pushed back really hard to get into this keep, and the sorcerers were like, and they did Tzeentch shit, and they basically fucking murdered all of the storm hosts that were there. Yeah. But the leader of the storm hosts, right as he was dying, he was like, hey look, that's shiny. Oh, and then he died. He's
so that's actually the really funny thing is he didn't know what the significance of it was.
He was like, "That's shiny and pretty. I'm gonna ask Sigmar about it."
Yeah, so the Sigmar was like this. the keeper of this this fortress, the disciple of Tzeentch, I forget his name. But basically, he was Efrix. So Efrix was holding this keep, and he just sees the Stormhost coming. Like the Stormhost don't even know he's there.
But he thinks they're there.
Yeah, and so he's like, fuck, and so immediately throws like all of his forces at the Stormhost, and the Stormhost is basically like, we're looking for some dwarves. Oh my god, sorcerers!
Yeah,
and just like again, they just start fighting, and they almost win. And then at the last second, Ifrix manages to like push him back, but like you were saying,
they had this big spell that he shot that basically just murdered all the storm.
He literally turned life into unlife and just killed everything living. And so the Stormcast, like as they were dying, the Lord Celestant that was there with him was like, "Oh, look at that glowing light! I wonder what that is." Dead. And then he goes back to Sigmar and he's like, "Hey Sigmar, so I saw this weird glowing light." And Sigmar was like, "Oh, mallet!"
Just to give you a hint of how powerful this actual sorcerer was, he is also known as the 9th disciple of Tzeentch.
The 9th disciple of Tzeentch?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Tzeentch's favorite number is 9. So even though the 9th disciple sounds low on the list, it is in fact one of his most favored.
He's up there with Kairos.
But the thing is that he was in charge of protecting it, and the fact that he just saw like Stormcast Eternals, which just wrecked havoc on Khorne. You're just like,
they're like,
they're coming for me. I don't know how they know about me, but they're coming for me.
Yeah, he basically had a brown pants moment.
So,
but yeah, so they told Sigmar, and Sigmar was like, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
Which led to the Heldenhammer Crusade, which is when Sigmar was like, "Yeah, 12 Stormhosts, here we fucking go!"
Yeah, and the thing about that, the Heldenhammer Crusade, is that was a very long crusade, and honest to God, as much as it sucks to kind of say this, realistically, there's almost a little too much lore about it, because what it was is I'm pretty sure this was actually the setting of a couple of books.
Maybe because I think it is a specific Realmgate book. It is a book.
Yeah, and so of course the lore pages that you go read on are completely overloaded with details that aren't really necessary.
So there's like really three major things happened. Vandus Hammerhand used the mallet to one-tap Karios Fateweaver.
Yep. Bonk, be gone, bird.
Sigmar got his mallet back, plus his Stormborn power.
Yeah.
The majority of Stormborn power back.
And third, with the hammer back, the Celestian Prime awoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like, and realistically, there is a lot of drama that goes into it, and kind of one of the big reasons I don't really want to cover this in detail is because, like we said, this is the setting of a book, and this would basically be like huge spoiler warnings ahead. Not that any of this isn't huge spoiler warnings, but realistically, there are some plot points in there that it does twist and turn a bit, so I'm trying to leave it a little vague for y'all who might want to go read it.
Did you say that? Did you talk about Vandus one-tapping Kairos?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I was looking something up, but that's probably my favorite point. Is Vandus has the hammer? He's like, "I am filled with divine might." Hey, Kairos, this your arm? This is my arm now. Rips his arm off and goes, "Hey, Kairos, this your head? This is my head now." Bonk, and just fucking disintegrates him. And it's like, yes, this makes me happy.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically, what ultimately comes from this is, like we were saying, the hammer is reacquired by the forces of Sigmar, and the Celestant Prime is awoken.
Didn't one of the Stormhosts like get absolutely fucking decimated though?
The Celestial Vindicators. Yeah. The Celestial Vindicators. Basically, what happens is they're stuck in a city. That's being manipulated by the sorcerer we were just talking about.
Efrix.
Yes, Efrix.
Whatever.
That's being manipulated by Efrix. And so, like, they are getting kind of wrecked because they ran ahead of the rest of the Stormhosts. Mm-hmm. And they kind of get lost in their own rage and just start absolutely pursuing the forces of Tzeentch. And then the dead of the city start rising up and just start killing everyone indiscriminately. Like, literally, the ghosts of the dead rise up, and they're like, "We don't like any of you here," and just murder everyone. And
Which is strange that happened, because this is also the realm of metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shimoda's their own metal. Yep.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that it happens like that, but that is what happens.
Well, now the one thing about their own metal is that it is that the landscape is subject to hellacious amounts of change.
Yeah.
Like, the shit changes its form, its molecular structure, like, on a daily basis, damn near. So, I'm going to assume something like that would just do nothing but feed Tzeentch's power, so I'm not surprised they can manipulate something to that degree.
But anyway, so, like, they rise up, but then eventually the Stormcast managed to call out to the Banshee leading the dead, and they managed to calm her down enough to, like, basically go, like, look, we're not
chaos.
here. Yeah, we're here to try and to save your realm from the forces of chaos. Could you please stop murdering us? And the Banshee's like, I'll do you one better. Not only will I not murder you, I'll murder everyone else. But yeah, no, the Celestial Vindigators get
Banshee's
pretty
here.
hard.
It's funny you're looking for a mallet, 'cause I'm getting mine.
Exactly. But no, the Celestial Vindicators do get pretty heavily decimated.
I will say there is one thing that I don't really like about this story, but this has more to do with any time in any story where it's like, he summoned 18 legions of his mighty storm host. A storm host can range from like 67 dudes. Like there are some storm hosts that are fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Like, there are some that can be, like, 147 dudes. There are some Stormhosts that are, like, 30,000. Like, there is... It's not like a Space Marine chapter where it's, like, it's defined at 1,000 with 10 companies of 100. Stormhosts vary, like...
Pretty drastic.
So, like, 12 Stormhosts could be, like, less than 1,000 guys.
Yeah.
Depending. Now, to be fair, the Stormhosts that have, like, 67 dudes, every one of those dudes are probably riding a Draconeth. So they're all on, basically, dragon horses that can breathe fire and fuck your day.
Or they're still in the process of being forged.
Yeah, but...
In which case, like...
Well, not even that. There are some that are just, like, the way they're comprised. They're like, they'll have they'll have, like, 3 lords, 5 companies of this, 6 companies of that.
5 chambers,
The chamber only consists of, like, 5 guys.
Yeah.
So, like you are correct. Like, at least during this time period, there were some chambers that were still being forged because Sigmar had lots of his kids. Stormhosts. There were still lots of Stormhosts that they were being forged because Sigmar had lots of kids to eat. But just in general, Stormhosts vary so much that whenever it's like, oh yeah, there's like 15 Stormhosts here, it's like, yeah, that could mean 100,000. It could mean less than 1,000, and it kind of killed my boner just a little bit.
Yeah. One important thing to note though is that generally speaking, if you're talking about a storm host that has like an actual stat sheet in the tabletop codexes or battle tomes, rather, they're probably going to have a lot unless stated otherwise. So like if there's a storm host that you come across that you see it like 2, 3, 4 times. In reference to like major events, you can basically count on them having thousands.
It's just members. you know how I am. I like having like structured numbers and whatnot. It's why I'm searching the Space Marines, because you know like this is unless it's one of the non-codex compliant or one of like the salamanders that are kind of compliant but kind of not really. Mm-hmm. Besides those anomalies, it's 1,000 dudes, 10 companies, this much of each. This guy is being led by this, and it's just nice because then you know the exact numbers, so it kind of makes it a little easier in your head when you're because like I don't know about y'all, but when I read, I vividly hallucinate, so it makes it easier when I'm reading in my head to like construct these battles when I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Versus now when sometimes when I'm reading now, it's kind of like, oh yeah, this huge battle, and I'm just like seeing one dude like, I am all 15 Stormhosts, and just some dude on a horse with a spear like, yeah, and that's just kind of, it fucks with me sometimes.
Joke's on you, one of those Stormhosts is just 3 goblins stacked on top of each other
with spray painted and iron armor.
They just broke out the rattle can of Retributor armor.
Just what the oh my god. No, okay, sorry, this is completely off topic. To anyone who, so this is super off topic, I don't know why I thought of this, but if anyone's listened to the song Miss Jackson by I forget.
Don't look at me, man. I know what song you're talking about.
It's Andre 3000 in him. I forget. Outcast by Outcast. Uh-huh. And so he goes like the lyrics go, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, I am for real. But there's a meme about it saying, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, I am 4 eels. Now I'm thinking of a Stormcast Eternal with just 4 eels fucking out of the side, and that's just what it is. And I'm like, sorry, Miss Jackson, I am 4 eels. And it's just a fucking... Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but like I had to give word to that thought. That was killing me.
Well, the next major thing, because when he got after getting that back, his hammer back, the next thing he kind of looked at, he just kind of stared into the realms. I don't know how Sigmar stares into the realms. I think he may have a crystal ball. Who knows?
I think I literally think that just that fucking the realm. I'm gonna blank on the name now. Azir, thank you.
Azir, yep.
Yeah, I was like, Akshi's not right. Anyway, I literally think Azir is just above the other realms. Like, I literally think they basically are just located in a place that they can see the other realms.
Ironically, you're kind of right and wrong. This is what I found this fucking layer. So you have Azir, where like the city of Sigmar is, right? But then you have the heavens of Azir, where the lizards are.
Yeah.
Because the Seraphon live in the heavens of Azir. So you have like Azir, you have Azir proper, you have like Sigmar's Azir, and then you have the fucking lizards even higher. Just like lizards.
And then you have Dracotheon.
Yeah, and then you have the fucking moon of Malice. That's like in, I don't know, like Azir's fucking weird.
Well,
yeah.
Continuing, however the hell he peers down into the realms,
because
this man is also the size of a man. Did you ever like actually put that together?
Flicking out his fucking monocle, just like, I see there's some demons in Akshi today.
My guess is Sigmar is 6'4".
6'4" and 200 pounds of pure.
Because Galmaraz does not change size, and the Celestial Prime is holding Galmaraz. And
given the nutritional values of humans in medieval times, the average height of a human man would be 5'8". So Sigmar, by definition, is a midget.
Oh god.
I would assume with his godly powers, he could be as big as he wants to be. But I mean, realistically, when you see Teclis and Tyrion, they're just still elves. They're still like normal elf shape.
Yeah.
No, he stands next to Stormcast Eternals, and they're the exact same height.
All I'm saying is that man got a fight with Gorgon Morka and won. So what is it? What is it? Ungodly cosmic power. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But continuing, he looked into the realm of Ghirin. Realm of Life.
Ghirin.
We're always going to struggle with these
I don't know if I've said this before, but just remember, the name of the mortal realms are literally the exact same name as the lores of magic from fantasy. So, I don't know if that helps.
Bro, don't even look at me like that.
No doubt.
You know the only realm of magic I pay attention to is the lore of death.
Which, you mean Shaiish?
I'm going to beat your ass.
The winds of Shaiish.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ghirin or Ghirin.
So,
Oh, you're starting the cluster. Oh, you're starting the clusterfuck.
Oh, God, yeah, like,
grab something to eat. He's gonna be at this for a while.
No. You are gonna join me in for this wonderful conversation about the how and so many strokes.
Nurgle stuck his dick in Alariel's house. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, but we're going over now the next series, The War of Life.
Oh, God.
So, Nurgle kind of made Ghirin, like, a boys' locker room that hasn't been cleaned in 5 years. It's pretty disgusting.
Just smells like sweat and ass.
You have great unclean ones taking rivers and purification and rotting everything in the process. And it's like, how is that even happening? That's supposed to purify.
You had great unclean ones taking baths in the pool of sacred tears.
Okay, real quick though, completely off topic. I missed my truck. Because in my truck, they literally just gave me a cooler and a case of water, and they were like, yeah, this is yours now. And so I just put it right behind me. So whenever I'm sitting in my truck, I just reach back into my cooler and grab a thing of water.
County work is great work, isn't it?
I know. So by the way, for those of you who want to know a little bit more about my personal life, I got a new job at the local county. And they literally gave me a truck, and they were like, this is your truck now. It is your truck alone. There are many trucks like it, but this one is yours.
I think you actually did less work this week than I did.
Which is saying something.
I did actually go out and like I did learn how to like actually work with the trailer.
Yeah, but Mitchell doesn't get 4-hour naps in his truck.
Excuse you, I took a 30-minute nap on my lunch break.
Yeah, but you watched Netflix for like 4 hours, which kind of counts the same.
I mean, I don't do that. I just walk around the office and talk to random people.
Okay, to be fair, whenever your boss has to make a like 40-mile round trip to go get a wrench.
Like what?
Oh yeah, no, that happened today. Like straight up, we were trying to do an oil change. This is completely off topic.
That would infuriate me.
Yeah, no, we were in the middle of doing an oil change on this fucking gator, and like it was just being a bitch and a half. But we didn't want to bust it and like drain oil all over the fucking shed,
right,
or all over the maintenance bay. And so like he went to go grab a wrench, and then he realized he didn't have a wrench with him, so he had to drive all the way back home to grab a different wrench and come back.
Where does he live?
He just lives up in Elgin, but like,
oh god, that explains it. It's fucking up in Elgin. Yeah.
Well, I mean we're down 95, so like.
It's still like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, or 15 minutes.
It's a good drive.
Yeah, it's still a good drive. So then he turns around, comes back, and we still can't get the damn thing off. So we still end up just taking a 1.5 long metal spike, driving it through the fucking oil filter, and just wrenching it off.
All you know is shit gets seared. Well, shit's gotten seared when someone says, "Where's the arc welder?" Or not the arc welder, the fucking. Oh, what's it called? It's a torch. It's a fucking. The thing, and it's a little fucking fire.
Yeah, it's a
torch.
It's a torch.
Torch welder or torch?
No, there's not a welder.
No,
it's a cutter.
it's an arc torch. Yeah,
I don't think that's correct.
No.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Acetylene.
Acetylene torch. Thank you. Yeah, that's how you know shit's gotten serious. It's like fuck it. We're no longer unscrewing it. We're melting this bitch.
Yeah.
Well, continuing now.
Yeah, sorry, that was completely off topic.
I've seen acetylene torch. How the fuck did I forget that?
Oh, like I lost where I was. So over the realm of chaos, Alariel went into her it was over a period of time, because when she was fighting all these battles, and the more that Nurgle took over the realm of life.
Keep in mind, a lot of this backstory starts in the Age of Chaos, because while Khorne is like fucking over the entirety of the 8 mortal realms,
Nurgle was
kind of like, I want this realm specifically.
I want to make a new garden.
Assume literally everything we talk about Realmgate Wars. If it's like, yeah, she was super depressed, we don't say why. Just assume because they got fucked by chaos hard.
Yeah.
That's kind of the blanket statement for everyone except for Azir.
She did a whole lot of like fighting, but over the period of time, a bit of her soul was constantly being lost, because a part of her soul is connected to the realm of life.
Yeah, so Nurgle was basically defiling her soul as well as the realm.
And so she kind of went into a hibernation state, and she put herself in a soul pod, and gave herself to the Lady of Vines.
And Lady of Vines is like the premier dryad, right?
No, she is her most loyal servant. Really.
Yeah. Is she a tree person, or is she a human?
She is a tree person, and she actually holds more authority than some ancient tree lords.
Yeah. Specifically because of what she does for Alariel during her time as a seed pod.
So yeah, and she kind of left her children to fend for themselves, and it started to become more of a losing battle. And
sink or swim, bitch! Yes. I ain't no helicopter parent.
Like my mother, she refused to raise her children for years.
Yeah.
Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Wow.
You stopped there in high school.
The second I learned how to cook, I was fucked.
Yeah, no, the second I got a job, I was on my own.
Man, I had a fucking cushy life. All right,
yeah, you did.
It's called having parents that are together and that love both each other and you.
And Sigmar kind of looked at that realm and went, I'll help out. I like those thighs. I'm gonna try.
He doesn't like those thighs. We're talking about Alariel. She would be Miss Thick Thighs equals Alariel.
Yes, always. Have you seen that model?
Bruh. Like
watermelons live in fear of that woman.
3 C's, if not 4. Like we're talking deep dish, extra thick, Chicago style. Fucking like, damn son.
Cheese is about to become a little cold.
And I just want to make this abundantly clear: we're talking about a plastic model.
Moving on.
To my beautiful girlfriend who listens to this, I am sorry you have to hear this.
To be fair,
sleeping on the couch.
Okay, to be fair, your girlfriend is bisexual and 100% agrees with us. Like, don't even play that game.
Yeah. Also, a lot of this, what are these battles that are going with the War of Life? It's going to be in the Plague Garden, the Hollow Knight book. So just...
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I only die a little bit of the inside. Every single time I have to inhale somebody else's vape.
I can't look at him. I can't even look at him right now.
It's like when we go sit downwind of him specifically.
Bro, no matter where he goes, God himself is like, like he can't fucking. I've seen it turn corners like to go after him. It's not.
The first battle will be the Battle of the Gates Dawn, and this is where the grand old boys, the Hollowed Knights, enter the realm of life. As they enter the realm of life, they exit the Gear tribes. Is it fucking kidding me? Is it trying?
It went underneath.
I need a little bit of back and forth here. I need to have some conversation.
Oh no! I'm letting you deal with this.
Sorry, we're exploring the wonders of how God apparently wants you to die by asphyxiation.
So when the Hollow Knights exit the Gear tribes, which were pretty much mortals that were being subjugated by the Nurgle's Bolothrax.
That sounds like a great unclean one.
Yeah.
Is that the fat ass that got stuck in the gate?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I remember that one.
But it's the same battle.
Okay.
We're getting there.
And I forgot that's the Battle of Gates of Dawn, right?
They got rid of the Gear tribes and the blah blah. They were subjugated by the Prince Legions of Bolothrax. They captured the Gate of Dawn, but it no longer led to Akshi anymore, or Akshi.
I believe it's Akshi.
I was trying to remember whatever the hell it was spelled.
AQ fucking.
It led to Nurgle's Garden now.
The point is, we don't really give a shit about where it once led, because right now it kind of leads to Satan's armpit.
Now enter stage right, Bolothrax.
Wait, wasn't he already here?
No. This was just his subjects.
No, then.
Oh, this was his.
No.
Oh.
Then Sir Bola Oatmeal came in himself.
Yes.
Mr. Squishy and Sour himself.
And when he came through the gate, and he brought a lot of his friends with him.
Baron of the Slick and Sticky.
And Sigmar was just like, I don't like the look of that. Then sent the
Astral Templars.
Yep. Because
I hate this battle so much. It's so
you
fucking.
ruined my rhythm so bad.
I know. You're welcome.
And let's see. Oh, it was Lord Gardas. Oh, yes. This is the destruction of the Gate of Dawn because, fun fact, if a Realmgate is now corrupted by chaos in the Realmgate Wars, Sigmar has instructed everybody to destroy said
Blow that gate the fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah, so they do have
Which
ways
is funny because in this particular case, it wasn't Sigmar who done it.
Yeah. No, but they do actually have ways to purify the realm gates.
You just can't do it while you're under attack by demons.
Well, no. Like, there is a certain point where there is literally just too much corruption and the gate cannot be reclaimed. So Sigmar has sent instructions that's basically like, if you can't purify the gate, blow it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it unusable.
And so we get the Mad Chad, my favorite character. He has a model. He's for Hollowed Knights. What I would consider the
Dantes or no Gardas, right?
Gardas.
Yeah. Steel Soul.
Yeah, something like that. He, to attempt to shut the gate so no more demons would come through, went through the gate and tried to destroy it from the inside. Mm-hmm. But he got stuck in the Garden of Nurgle because a big old demon of Nurgle tried to fit through the gate and just broke it. He's now just stuck there.
Oh wait, so he straight up pulled a Drogo. God damn it, the Grey Knight.
Oh yeah.
Khal Drogon or Drogo, yeah.
Khaldor Drogo.
Khaldor Drogo.
But no,
he just straight up pulled.
I still just can't get over that. Basically, fucking Lord Chonky Thick, one of the Lord Chonky Thicks is like, I'm gonna go through this gate, eat me some Chromecast turtle booty hole. Hit that gate, and that gate was like, weight limit exceeded. And it's just fucking like I just see it being like, bing, and it just fucking explodes. Demon's like, I am offended.
How
it's like
dare
that
you
moment
not
when the
accommodate my massive girth and opulence?
Reminds me of the fucking like the fucking Gabriel Glacy skit about like the being elevated and you see a level like someone who's like 800 pounds like oh hell no. This in the gates, the elevator, and he just steps in. The elevator's like, nah.
And after the gate got destroyed, you had your civil enough that was in the area, or your tree people that were in the area, and they were just like, huh, we can probably win this battle now. Because it was still Nurgle's battle to win until the tree people got angry.
The tree started speaking Vietnamese, and Nurgle quaked in fear.
That gate blew up, and the Lorax are like, I have spoken for the trees, and we shall now start breaking your knees.
And then the next major event that's going to be happening with the War of Life is going to be the destruction of the Dirge Horn?
Dirge Horn, I believe. Yeah. No, and this is the thing that was keeping the tree people like paralyzed or something, right?
Yeah. It kind of is I don't know how it was keeping them paralyzed, but the entire purpose of this like destruction of this horn was it freed the tree Sylvana from the cacophony that drove them mad to the point of paralyzation.
I'm going to assume it just like sapped their will to live and clouded their mind and made them all fucking all.
Well, there was a thing where like the Stormcast, it drove them mad, and they had the urge to like clean their blade or something, or they went to go fight something.
Oh, if it's from Nurgle, it's probably just something that was like, I'm gonna fill your mind with nothing but the most disgusting fucking things possible, and especially for someone in the realm of life who's like life and like being happy and being energetic, it's like, oh yeah. Your skin's rotting and you're full of maggots and there's poop everywhere, all kinds of fucked up shit. They probably have aneurysms too.
No, it wasn't that. It was weird because it was something they wanted to clean, like their sword. They tried to clean their sword in the swamp or like the thing. It was really weird, but all the Astral Templars that were sent there died because of the Dirge Horn.
Oh fuck!
Huh. Yeah,
the whole Stormhost
that were sent there. I don't think it was the entire Stormhost.
Oof.
But the how the Hollowed Knights got about that, the new leader of the Hollowed Knights went around and cleansed it.
Dantas was the original leader, but he's lost in K. He's
lost in Nurgle's Garden right now. He went around and he like cleansed their armor with Sigmar's light, pretty much.
Clap on, clap off.
Yep.
That's how I'm seeing that. Just walk to every storm. He's like, Sigmar on, Sigmar off.
But actually, I think it's more appropriate about the whole clap thing because, like, Nurgle, the clap, you gotta.
Oh God.
Clap off.
Oh God. Oh, continue, please.
Okay. What this?
I feel like I need to be cleansed now.
The destruction of the Dirge.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, walk over there. Oh, I got my Walther over here again.
Yeah, your Walther can't shoot. Ah, shit, I'm sitting close enough. It's not going to matter.
Are you gonna chunk my cat at him?
No, I'm gonna have Hephaestus protection.
Okay.
The purity of the good boy will deflect your disgusting venereal Nurgle diseases.
Yes, the good boy who likes to go hop in the trash can.
The Nurgle cat himself.
He's going to absorb all of your Nurgle insults.
Anyway.
So with the destruction of the Dirge Horn, what it did, it freed a whole lot of Sylvana from the paralyzation. So it led, which was a major point for the battle of the Glade, or for the Glade. And the reason why this battle was very important, the Glade was like a stone that had the purifying water that was coming out of it. So it was the only thing to counteract Nurgle's rot.
So this would basically be the equivalent of like walking up to the Pope's holy water and taking a shit in it.
Yes, and that's exactly what Pupa did. Pupa. P-U-P-A. Pupa. The great unclean one Pupa was doing, because he literally constantly took a bath in this river that was purifying the land and just ruined it.
Made it not purified.
Yeah, most definitely unpurified.
I'm going to refer you back to my comment about shitting in the Pope's holy water.
Yeah, exactly. So it saved Shimmertom, which was the source of purifying water. And the water. Let's see. Oh, this is the battle that Gardas came back. Because there was another realm gate at that, like right next to this purification source, And he came back and he went, oh, there's a battle going on. And so he just went, cloak.
Boy. All right. Nurgle man wants Nurgle cat.
Oh yeah. Let's pass around my cat. Oh. But there was the process. They killed Pupa. And that this was the entirety of the Hollow Knights. So when they killed Pupa, the river, so he kind of just like turned into dust, and the river like started to repurify everything, and all these demons that were in the river during the entire battle just went.
You ever seen the end of Indiana Jones, The Lost Ark, when the Nazis melted? That's how I envisioned that.
Yeah.
But it was at the end of this battle, they completely murdered a demon host.
Whole ass
Jesus
host.
Christ.
The entire host.
You know, it's pretty fucking large, aren't they?
They can be.
Yeah. And then this...
I feel like it's like Nurgle, it's just like Lysol. It's just everything.
That's power Pine-Sol, baby.
That's the power. Mr. Clean's in there just like this bitch.
And this will lead to the search for the Hidden Veil. And the reason why that Gardas it was important.
Gardas came out of that Realmgate like, call me Mr. Clean, bitch, because I'm about to clean you up.
Fucking Gardas hopped out of Nurgle's garden looking like the fucking what is it, that maid from Family Guy, like no Mr. Superman, no here. Just fucking squirted everyone.
Dude, I forgot the reason why that was so easy to kill Pupa. It was because Gardas learned
his name,
Pupa's real name, because when he was dealing with what the hell was the other guy's name that started with the B?
Bolthax.
Bolthrax. When he was fighting him in the garden, in Nurgle's garden, he said Pupa's real name. So,
but why though?
I need to read the book.
That's fair. It's probably like, tell me his goddamn name where I pour the bleach on you.
Yeah. And they were able to. I think it was a celestial. A Stormcast Eternal's wizard that sat there and just lightning bolt him to death.
Lightning bolt.
You okay over there?
I've got hiccups.
Oh. So
yeah, my lungs apparently don't like me at the moment.
This would start to go into the search for the Hidden Veil, which killed.
Well, once they get the river purified, that's when they go and they fucking get Mario back, right?
No, I got things mixed up. So there was the battle for the Hidden Glade, then there was a search for the Hidden Veil. Gardas stated that he knew how to find Alariel, and it was based off of this, like, it was a splinter of a tree from the world that was. Yes. And somehow it was going to point, and I think this would state how much of the war that was going on and how much impact they had, because it kind of like represented, in my mind, it represents the realm. And only half of it was pure, and it was like it had pure water coming out of it, and the other half was just Nurgle infested. So in my mind, they have like kind of like cleansed half of the realm at that point. But so he knew how. So through this, he had to go there and fight Pupa there. So it wasn't in battle for the Glade. This is just where Gardas came back, and they saved the purification source, a major purification source. And so...
You okay there, bud?
No, because this was so goddamn much to read and try to type out.
That's a lie. There's so much to look. Things worked themselves out to a point where they found Alariel, or they knew how to bring Alariel back. And then shit got even worse before it got better.
So, it did, because Gardas then killed Pupa, then the entire storm, like, the thing died.
There was like 3.5 dudes left, and they were like, Dad, please help.
No, so then they actually, then they did the next chapter, Alariel Rebirth. So this is where they find the Lady in Vines, and they're doing, like, Sam Houston's Runaway Escape? Why am I referencing that? Everybody, like, not in Texas is not going to understand that. Do you even understand it? It's where Sam Houston was running away from the Mexican army.
Yes. Yeah.
So the Lady in Vines was just running away from the army, trying to get to a planting point
For Alarielle.
For Alarielle.
It's actually, because I remember correctly, they actually they found the Lady in Vines. Like, we found you. We're gonna help you. And she was like, "You dumb motherfuckers. There's like 9 of you left, and you led them right to me."
In this final battle,
I'm gonna pause you real quick though. I actually feel really bad because I did not get that reference, and like apparently I'm like an actual descendant of Sam Houston, and like now I feel bad.
yeah, you should.
Would you like to explain to him?
Anyway.
No, he can go research on his own.
You're not a real Texan.
No, I just slept through most of my like 8th grade Texas history.
That's fair.
Teacher was a bitch anyway. She didn't deserve it.
Enter stage left, Khorne.
Oh God.
No, what you mean? Enter stage left, fucking Scarbrand. We're gonna say that about 14 more times.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Him and Vandus, they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Quick pause. Like, if you thought Vandus Hammerhand appeared a lot, holy fuck, does Scarbrand get around?
I forget, because like the Realmgate Wars, how long was they went over a period of how long again?
It was a hot minute.
Because it fucking had to be, because both Vandus and Scarbrand each died like 4 fucking times, and that takes a while.
Scarbrand didn't die during this period of time.
Yeah,
he died.
He does die during the Realmgate Wars.
He died.
Oh no, but not this battle. Not this battle. It's something even funnier.
No, yeah, but he fucking dies in the wars of the Flame Worlds, and then like 3.5 minutes later he's back, and it's like, what the fuck, Richard?
I thought it was supposed to take thousands of years.
Yes, it fucking is!
Yeah, it's supposed to take a while, unless, of course, Khorne just really likes you, in which case he goes, boop, you're back.
Because, like, for Vandus and a couple, it makes sense. It's like the forging process was rushed because they needed him back out there. So I think his name is Ionis. I think he's the Lord Celcid. Ionis. I think he's the Lord Celcid of one of the storm hosts. Like, he didn't have a voice. He was reforged so quickly. He did not have the ability to speak. Basically.
No. He had the ability to speak. The issue is that at really inopportune times, his voice would tend to fail him.
But that was specifically stated because of the reforging process, because they rushed it, which made sense. Scarman was just like, I died and I'm back with nothing bad happening to me. Eat a dick. It's like,
fair,
God
he doesn't
damn it.
have any personality to lose, so
yeah. So Khorne sent Scarbrand and a demon host to attack the last remaining Hollow Knights and Tree People. By the way, their numbers only numbered 100.
Yeah, there were like compared to what there was like 3.5 dudes left. That's basically it.
Yep.
And there was like thousands of demons, and they're just like, oh.
So it's at this point I feel like there's like bad writing, because then they're like, out of nowhere, Aslan goes, man, I kind of need that to happen, or not, for them not to die.
So it is both, in my opinion, A, bad writing, but also B, not bad writing at the same time, because the Slan do the exact same thing Sigmar does, but even higher. They just go, hey, that's kind of looking kind of bad. No, that'd be fine. That does look bad, dinosaurs. Like, that's what they fucking do. They just sit in Azir and they just look down on the other one around. They don't do a goddamn thing unless they're like, that needs to win, because fuck chaos. That is the only time they do anything.
So it's the Slan Zinfantika?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, speaking of characters
Slan,
we're going to hear about a lot
Same
of.
fucking Slan that deals with the fucking,
Yep.
Yeah. So he sat there and he sent his
host of dinosaurs.
Space lizard armor.
Lizards.
Look, to fight
look.
the demon host.
All I'm saying is the entire point of Seraphon being in AOS is so GW can somehow fit Space Godzilla into Age of Sigmar.
You know what? We're working up to it.
And the way that the writing was written, it was only Slanman and Scarbrand left, and Scarbrand was chasing Slanman, and Slanman went like Doctor Strange portal, and it says, "Oh, bye," and he went into space.
By the way, yeet.
And so Scarbrand at this point was just floating in space. So it was the Stormcast Eternals in Sylvaneth are numbered at 100 at this time. So Sigmar sent the Celestin Prime because
he didn't send the Celestin Prime. He sent Karl Franz. Get it right,
because they had to deal with the Nurgle army. But I think this is the first time the Celestin Prime is actually like
And he came down and he was like, everyone in this room is dying,
and it was just like all the great unclean ones just went,
oh fuck,
I know that mallet. because I don't think they stopped because of the Celestin Prime. They stopped because
the
of
hammer. Yeah, fuck Granny Clean was just like, did we get anything from information about him getting the mallet back? Because it's fucking here.
Where was the memo?
I feel
Zinch, like, come on, bro.
I feel like record keeping should have given us a heads up on this one because this is most definitely not okay.
Like, they got rid of Carter's Fate Weaver in one hit. Now, this is
and that wasn't even the fucking dude holding it. It was just Vandus holding it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing is that Vandus Hammerhand is only a Lord Celestant.
Like, he's a very prominent... Does he have a model? If he doesn't, I'm going to be kind of offended.
Hold up. I'll be back.
Like, he's a very prevalent character, but he's, like, not super, super special. He's not like the Celestant fucking Prime, who was basic... Like, the Celestant Prime was basically, like, he got reforged, but he was dead. He wouldn't come back to life. When he got the hammer, that's what brought him back to life. He was specially made for this. He was the first Stormcast Eternal. He is the leader of the army, basically. And he came down, and he was like... I'm gonna fucking kill everyone here now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
I just realized my book is at your place.
And then they kind of just planned to Mystic Thighs herself.
Well, there's something cool that happened during that time. So, Torglug the Defiler, or something like that was his name. He was a demon prince of Nurgle, and I think he was like leading the forces. He was a big leader of the forces with the Grim and Clean Ones. Who've been fucking the free people up and whatnot. So he actually 1v1s the Celestin Prime and gets his ass handed to him. So Celestin Prime smacks him with a hammer and kills him, and basically banishes his corrupted soul to chaos. But when he does that, because of the divine power of Sigmar and the hammer, there's like a little sliver of his soul that remain uncorrupted. And Sigmar yoinked that bitch immediately and made a whole ass Stormcast Eternal out of it.
Are they called the Redeemed?
Yeah, no, I know.
Well, he was
called Torin or Torvrin the Redeemed.
He's
Do we get
Tornus. Tornus.
Do we get to him in a later time in this podcast?
Yes, fire. Yeah, the fire.
He returns
because because even though it was only a sliver of his soul, he's still a pretty powerful Stormcast, isn't he?
Yeah, because that was the thing is that like the one. So whenever he died, Sigmar found like the one last shred of his purity,
uncorrupted soul.
Of his uncorrupted soul, and yoinked it. But then like that one portion was so pure that, fueled by Sigmar's power, he basically returned to as he was as a mortal man before he became corrupted by chaos,
and then became a Stormcast on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and there are, I don't think they talk about it much in Realmgate, but there is like a whole group of people that get reforged from the souls of people who are killed by Gul Miraz being wielded by the Celestin Prime. And I think that only happens either A, because of the Prime himself, or because of the hammer, or a combination of the two.
I think it's a combination of, honest to God, what I really think it is, oh look, Vandus Hammerhand, there he is. What I really think it is that, no, in time.
Motherfucker.
Patience. But no, I really think what it is that it's not that the Celestant Prime is doing anything in particular. It's that when the Celestant Prime takes the field, Sigmar is inherently just looking more at that battlefield. And so whenever he's watching, like, the Celestant Prime slay great unclean ones, so much of his attention is devoted to that he has the presence of mind in that moment to reach in and snag the souls. The uncorrupted souls of great unclean ones, or like.
Well, no, it's not great unclean ones because he can't, because you can't forge anything out of a demon soul because they're just straight demon. But it's the uncorrupted souls of mortal heroes, because all Stormcast are heroes.
Yeah.
In their own right. Mortal heroes that are corrupted by the Chaos Gods. He finds pieces of their souls in particular.
Yeah, sorry, I said greater demon, but yes, really what we're talking about is like the chosen of chaos.
And then the demon princes and shit like that. Because if I remember correctly, Torglug was a demon prince.
Yes. Yeah, so basically if there was a character who was once mortal, who then became corrupted by chaos, if there is still a portion of their soul that is pure, Sigmar can reach in and yoink it and make a Stormcast out of it. But I really think it has less to do with the Celestant Prime and more just the inherent fact that like Sigmar's looking more closely.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say as well. And it was this entire thing is where Alariel is like be reborn and she's in her war form, but it's actually her being reborn has very large implication because there is a large influx of just life energy. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, that's where like the trees and the mountain that was holding Kragnos, they gnarl all the way down into the hollow point, and that's what allows Kragnos to escape. Mm-hmm. So it's like
Alaria.
So there's a lot of implications about Alaria being reborn.
Yeah. Well, she is Queen Life Energy herself, so.
Can you go get the cat away from my houseplant? I got it. Not Lilith. That's the plant's name.
Watching you.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Vandus Hammerhand does actually have a model, and it is a mounted model.
Ooh, what's mounted on?
The Dracoth Kalanax. The funny thing is he still only has 9 wounds, so technically he's a sub-commander. Because he has less than 10 wounds, which makes sense because he's a Lord Celestin, not a Lord Commander. Mm-hmm. By the way, since we haven't actually gotten into this yet, the way Storm Hosts are split up, Lord Commanders are the leaders of Storm Hosts, Lord Celestins are the leaders of Chambers under a Lord Commander. So they're basically like the second in commands. Lord Imperators are in between, so technically Celestins are third in command.
Which is funny, we don't really see any Lord Imperators or Lord Commanders. We just see Vandus everywhere in the fucking...
Yeah. Well, it's because, like, realistically, most Storm Hosts only deploy at the chamber level. They deploy, like, a singular chamber.
Them to come in full force is rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the only time you really would have seen a Lord Imperatant would be at, like, the Helden Hammer Crusades.
Yeah. The fucking big things.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was the War of Life, and oh my gosh, was that so much to deal with. I can't wait till you get to, like, the War of Firewalls.
Oh my god!
That's going to be worse.
Oh, yeah. So, by the way, for those of you who aren't already figuring this out, this is going to be a 2-hour plus episode. So, yeah, have fun with that. Moving on. What part do we have next?
Oh god, Battle of Bloodkeep. Yes! I fucking love this entire thing. So, Battle of Bloodkeep, it's fairly simple. Basically, the Stormcast Eternals, they team up with Fire Slayers and Akshi because, you know, Skarbrand, when he came down into Giran, they're like, fuck, he's using Skarbrand. This is a problem. He's angry as fuck and very hard to deal with. So there is something called the Bloodkeep. And in the Bloodkeep was the Brass Chain. And as I put it, the Brass Chain is the only Snickers you can give Skarbrand to calm his ass down. And what that means is it's the only thing that can hold him. He's filled with so much rage. It's literally the only thing that can bind him and keep him from just running amok. So the Fire Slayers...
Weren't these forged by Khorne himself to bind Skarbrand?
I believe so, yeah. Because when if Skarbrand's in the mortal plane, but not currently trying to murder something, he stays in the Bloodkeep. That's where he's bound. Mm-hmm. That's where he is kept until he is to be used if he's not just in the realm of chaos. Yeah. So Skarbrand was out fucking shit up. So the Fire Slayers and the Stormcast, they attacked the Bloodkeep. And they were doing a pretty good job. They got in there and they started fucking shit up. And they almost got to the Brass Chain, but then Skarbrand showed up.
Oh shit!
And there they stood, Snickersless, and Skarbrand proceeded to aggressively T-pose for dominance. And
which is code for Skarbrand proceeded to beat their ass like a bongo.
Fucked hard, and yeah. So and it caused them. It caused them to fail the mission. They couldn't. Skarbrand was too powerful. But the one good thing that did come out of that is the alliance that was forged between the Stormcast and the Fire Slayers. It formed a friendship between the factions, which was something that they used multiple times throughout the stories. You know, it was a bond that needed to be forged so that they could stay together and they could keep relying on each other's strengths in the battles to come, which was good. for the Alliance Order. But overall, they
Angry dwarves are really nice to have for allies.
I'm looking at you, Gotrek.
Angriest of dwarves.
Also the most depressed of the dwarves. Mm-hmm. Gotrek is either mad as fuck murdering things or depressed as shit remembering the world that was. But yeah, no. So like I said, ultimately they were unable to get the Brass Chain. and they got T-posed on. And I don't know what Khorne did with the Snickers after that. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe some. I doubt it's still in the Bread of Blood Keep. I'm pretty sure when the Realmgate Wars ended, Chaos kind of had to fuck back off through the Realm of Chaos for the most part. So I don't really know what happened to the Brass Chain and Bloodkeep after that. But yeah, it wasn't a huge battle, but I just like the premise of it. And after that, it was the third War of the Dead.
Which, by the way, just like, the first War of the Dead, Age of Myth. Second War of the Dead,
Age of Chaos.
Age of Chaos.
Third War of the Dead, and they were.
Do you see a pattern here?
So yeah, no, Nagash got fucked in the second War of the Dead.
Well, he died.
He didn't just die. All of it, he died. All of his Mortocks died. All of his armies died.
I don't think Nefrada died.
No,
because
all but her. Cool, because the Mortocks got rezzed. They came back.
Because it was the Mortarks that actually No, I'm thinking of a war that was.
Nope. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think Nefrada died too, and she just came back earlier or something like that. But I do know that basically every single force that Nagash had got fucking annihilated in the second War of the Dead. And that was in the Age of Chaos when Archeon was like, Bone Daddy, Sir Elder Bones, spin the wheel, can't have that shit.
You know why they wanted Shaiish so much, right?
Oh, yeah, it's literally all of the souls go there. If they corrupted that plane, anytime someone died, they would be autoed into the fucking Realm of Chaos, basically.
It wasn't even that. It was to make the people lose hope for even dying.
That makes sense. So even when you die, we got your ass.
Yeah.
But so Nagash reses at the Starless Gate. That battle, and he and his forces are being besieged by Chaos again. Go figure. That battle from that point on is called the Slaughter at the Starless Gate, because Nagash wakes up and he's like, "Spin the wheel, necromancy, doot, motherfuckers," and basically just fucking slaughters everyone. And then proceeded to do necromancy things. He was raising like pillars of necromantic energy and shit like that all over Shaiish because Nagash doing Nagash things. Other thing that happened was Nefrada was in her favored territory, being besieged by Chaos again. Go figure. I feel like I've been here before. And she was losing. She was getting her. She was getting her shit pushed in.
Stormcast came in, and it was actually known to be like a really good alliance and how the Legions of the Dead and the Stormcast can work together.
Work really well together.
But Nagash was being a dick and was like, nah, you don't get your city anymore. Bye.
Yep, the Stormcast came in and saved Nefrada specifically, and they really didn't give a fuck about the city or the continent or anything. They wanted to save Nefrada specifically to get on Nagash's good side, and that
got Nefrada on Nagash's bad side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nagash spoke through Nefrada basically to tell the Stormcast to go fuck themselves, and then he took Nefrada and tortured the shit out of her just for even working with them.
Yeah, and she had to get it back because it was let's see, she causes the Chaos Lord to assault the north of her city for and she opens up an annihilation gate and just destroys all chaos that are attacking. And that was they allowed Nagash to give her back her city.
But yeah, so that is basically the third War of the Dead in a nutshell. It's basically just Nagash coming back and going on a crumping spree.
Yep. Battle of Mount Kronos?
This is an important one.
Is it? It's only 2 sentences.
Yeah, okay. The premise is kind of stupid, but what happens because of the fight's important.
Okay. By the way, when it comes to the third War of the Dead, the only major thing to really take out of that is Nagash got resurrected and he came back. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nagash came back to life, and he is now once again a player on the board of the great game, so to speak.
So we have Alariel and Nagash back.
Mm-hmm. So the Battle of Kronos.
Elden Hammer.
So this is actually the first time that the Sigmarines fight Sir Plot Armor himself, a.k.a. the Exalted Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse, Archeon the Everchosen. This battle is when the Stormcast first fight him. So basically, there's this disgraced Lord of Change that was once one of the strongest Lords of Change in Tzeentch's retinue. And Tzeentch through the first syllable of his name.
Which I love the idea of throwing a
weird
syllable.
as shit. Yeah, and I think he basically it yoked down to the mortal plane, and it manifested as an oracle. I think I don't know if it's just an oracle or an oracle of Tzeentch. I don't know, but it manifests as oracle, and for like a long ass time, it was trying to get the other syllables to like, I'm assuming, to resurrect the Lord of Change himself. So that happens for like thousands of years. And so then the 8th syllable, which was actually locked in the Realmgate, in where they were, I think they were in Shimon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're in Shimon, or Kamon. So the 8th syllable is getting ready to connect. And we're pretty sure that's going to res the Lord of Change. And Sigmar's like, can't have that shit. So he sends in...
Which is really funny because like one of Tzeentch's most powerful Lords of Change, Karya's Fate Weaver, just got one-handed by some Lord Celestin.
Yeah, but that was because he had the hammer.
You can just send down Celestin Prime.
For whatever reason, he sent a Stormhost. That's just what happened. He sends a Stormhost to fight it. And so there's this dude called the Watcher King, who was one of the 9 Gaunt Summoners, who's like, this shit can't happen. And so he starts throwing demons at him. Doesn't work, because Stormcast. And so Stormcast fight through all those demons and shit, and they finally get to the Oracle. At this point, the Gaunt Summoner's like, fuck it, Slaanesh, Nurgle, Khorne, anyone, this shit cannot fucking happen. And that 8th syllable gets thrown down into that Oracle. They don't get there in time. And this is where I kind of think it's bad writing, because it gets a little confusing. But basically what the Gaunt Summoner wanted to do the whole time, and I'm going to assume something about that Oracle receiving the 8th syllable of the name, somehow coalesced into him figuring out Archaon's true name. So Archaon shows up. He's like, this shit cannot fucking happen.
Is Archaon not Archaon's true name? Because he's not a demon?
I don't fucking know.
He's not a demon, so...
It said Archaon, I don't fucking know. But I know that Archaon showed up, and he was not pleased. And he basically reined the Gaunt Summoner back in line, because the 9 Gaunt Summoners served him. He got him back in line, but Stormcast were there. So, like, it's time to fight. And this was the first time that the Sons of Sigmar, so to speak, ever fought Archaon, and they got fucking clapped. Like, hard.
Have you seen Archaon compared to...
Like, yeah, no,
yeah,
they got fucked. He was lopping off heads and shit, and so yeah, they all got yoked back to his ear. But the one good thing that did come out of that is, the process of them getting aggressively clapped. It kind of caused Dracotheon to help create and finish the Extremis Chamber, which is the chamber that all the storm hosts.
How does that connect?
Going to assume that Dracotheon was just like, yeah, that's a fucking problem. I'm going to assume that basically they were hoping that Stormcast would at least serve some sort of challenge for Archaon, and they just kind of didn't.
Yeah, basically what it is like...
They just weren't shit to him.
Yeah, like the Stormcast gets so aggressively beat in this one battle that Dracotheon shows up and is basically
dragons?
Yeah, no, and is basically like, okay, I've helped you out personally so far. Now my children will help you as well. And that's what
the entirety of this battle was to put dragons
into
on the
Stormcast.
board.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's exactly what the Extremis Chamber is. All the Stormcast from the Extremis Chamber, they're riding Star Drakes, they're riding Dracoliths, all that shit.
Yeah,
that's the Extremis
Chamber.
Chamber.
If it is a child of
Dracothion, it's
in the Extremis Chamber.
Which is funny because they were riding Draconith, they were riding Dracoths before the Extremis Chamber, because Dracoths are the ones that can't fly. I'm assuming only the flying children come from the Extremis Chamber.
Yeah, I think Dracoths are more like nephews to Dracotheon.
Yeah.
Like, they're similar, but they're not technically his children.
They're horse dragons, that's what they are.
Yeah. Whereas the actual...
children of Dracotheon are the ones
are the winged
actually
ones, the
fly.
flyers.
Yeah. So that caused Dracotheon to help create and finish the Extremis Chamber, which gave Stormcast dragons, because they totally needed that in the fucking game.
Mm-hmm. Woo! To be fair, they look dope as shit.
They really fucking do. They look so good.
By the way, we never told people my new army for Age of Sigmar.
Oh, God.
There's a reason why Mitchell talks so much about the War of Life. And no, it's not Nurgle.
Miss Thick Thighs herself.
Yes, Mitchell has decided to start a Sylvaneth army.
I found a really good deal on Reddit. I was like, I can't pass it up because I like tree people. So
you like thick thighs yourself, don't even lie.
I thought about the tree people a lot more than Mystic Thighs. Wow, that sounded awful.
Yeah, I did.
That sounded so bad.
Like, I was setting up for a joke, and then you said that, and I was like, I don't even say anything.
Well, why set up for a joke when I'm the joke myself?
Exactly.
Your thirsty ass needs Jesus. What I was saying is that he should paint whenever he paints, he should paint every single different, not individual model, but unit, like a different wood. Like one unit is oak and one unit is cherry wood, so that wouldn't be super hard. But he was like, no, I don't want to do that.
To be fair, that'd be kind of a pain.
But it would look so fucking cool.
You want to paint all my army? Have you seen my closet? Pile of
we
shame?
Both know that
it's no longer inside of my closet. My new models are actually over to the right of my desk.
We both know that I am not good enough. But you are. You could touch the sun, Mitchell. You could touch the sun.
Burn. All right, moving on.
Or crash and burn, because Philip's a bitch.
Moving on to the Wars of the Flame Worlds.
God, I don't want to be here anymore.
All right, then don't.
Oh God, this entire
Peace. See you later.
Can you give me some too?
Yeah.
Dope.
All right. So Wars of the Flame Worlds. Basically, what's going on here is the dwarves are getting butt fucked.
Tell me more.
The dwarves are getting butt fucked.
Is that about it though?
I mean, that's the vast majority of what happens.
Oh damn.
But no. So yeah, a lot of this takes place around Asphyxia and in the realms surrounding that. So basically, going back to the Burning Peninsula, the battle at the Burning Peninsula happens, and this battle just basically doesn't stop, and it just overflows into the surrounding regions. And it's basically just the Stormcast and the Gore-Tide going at it forever. Like, while everything else we've covered is happening, this is also still happening.
It's basically one war that is so fucking super massive it breaks off into like 7 different wars.
Yeah, and hence the Wars of the Flame Worlds.
It starts off as just one massive clusterfuck.
And this war is so massive and so all-encompassing that basically every major named follower of Khorne is there. Yeah. Even some of the more...
Even Torn the Redeemed, Torglug, when he got turned, even he shows up.
Yeah, well, no, I was talking about Khorne's followers specifically.
Oh, Khorne's followers, gotcha.
But yeah, basically every single one of Khorne's followers is there.
Fucking Valky
at some point, yeah.
Khorne's there. Fucking Scarbrand's there.
As always.
So yeah, so kind of the start of this though is that Cole tries to... A demon prince comes to Cole and is like, hey... If you like attack at this specific moment, I will like also assist you, and we can kind of like hammer and anvil these guys.
That demon prince was paying his debt back, right?
Yeah, he owed a favor to Cole.
Air quotations.
Yeah. So of course the demon prince completely stabs Cole in the back and doesn't actually show up, and Cole kind of gets his shit pushed in a little bit.
He almost fucking dies, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And so he falls back, and this allows the Stormcast to really start pushing out and taking the field. Which leads into the Plague of Atrophy. So a great unclean one of Nurgle creates this plague and releases demon flies out onto the battlefield. So while this massive battle is going on, flies and rot and whatnot starting to set in. And so...
Which is actually funny because it really affected everyone but the Stormcast because they're protected by runes.
Yeah.
The only thing the Stormcast really had to deal with is they were crawling into the eye holes of the faceplate. But everyone else was getting a lot more affected and getting like sapped of their strength. Yeah. And the Stormcast were like, that's unfortunate. Slice.
Yeah, the actual men of the realm...
Yeah, the Aphyxians or whatever the fuck their name was.
Yeah, the Asphyxians were being affected, but yeah, the Ash...
But it was hitting demons and shit too, remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it was hitting everyone.
Yeah.
And then finally this ultimately... so what this plague does is the flies bite you and it saps your strength. It literally saps your will to fight and your physical ability to fight.
That's like it when I get out of bed every single morning.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
So remember how I made kind of an emphasis on the fact that a lot of Cole's followers are mortal? So they were especially vulnerable to Nurgle's plague, and Cole's forces just start getting absolutely destroyed by the Stormcast. And then Nurgle's, a host of Nurgle shows up and is like, yeah, this is our battlefield now.
And so right now we have Stormcast, humans, Nurgle, and Khorne all on the same battlefield.
Yep. Yeah, and Nurgle basically appears right in the middle of Khorne's lines and just starts aggressively murdering Khorne. And this is one of those situations where the Stormcast are basically standing on the sidelines going, should we be doing something about this? And they're just like, no.
It's actually really funny because Valkia, who I believe is a demon prince, she's like a blood Valkyrie.
So that's the funny thing is she's actually basically one of the most favored followers of Khorne. Whenever she dies, Khorne doesn't let her soul disperse. He immediately brings her back every time.
So Valkia's in the sky like, oh, great blood daddy, please make the flies go away. And all the Stormcast are like, get that bitch down. And the leader's like, no. Let this happen.
Yeah.
This is good for us.
Yeah. Because you have to keep in mind that the Stormcast are there to rescue the humans, and the humans are also being affected by this plague. Valkia. So Nurgle and Khorne are fighting, and then Valkia is sitting there going, "Oh, Khorne, please, burn away the blood." And the Stormcast are like, "Hey, wait a second, should we be doing something?" And it's like, I don't know. Let's kind of see how this plays out.
I feel like Malal's having fun. Let's let this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Anyway, but no, so eventually Khorne's followers start getting absolutely destroyed, and Nurgle starts fighting against the Stormhost. And the Stormhost, since they've lost a lot of their human allies, are also getting kind of destroyed. And that's when fucking Big Ball Tornus the Redeemed himself takes to the field.
And once again, this was Torglin the Despised, the one that I talked about, who got reforged after the Celsin Prime fucking murdered him.
Yeah.
He's here as a Stormcast now.
Yeah, so he's now a Stormcast, and he waddles out into the forces of Nurgle and is like, hey, bitch, come get me.
I'm pretty sure he was there because the leader of that demon host of Nurgle, I think it was Kugath.
He was there because he'd been ordered to be there. Basically, his Stormhost was the ones who were fighting.
I remember that Kugath, I think it was Kugath, I might be wrong, but the Great Unclean One that turned him was leading that force.
Yes, no,
and he was like, that fat bitch is mine.
Yeah, no, so the Great Unclean One takes one look at Tornus and is like, you are an absolute abomination, and you are coming for my asshole, and I take that personally. And so he literally guides all of his forces, not some of them, not most of them. Every single demon of Nurgle on that field looks at Tornus and is like, you are going to die now.
What I said was, if Great Unclean Ones were capable of having the super cartoony 8-year-old girl scream, that is what he did when he saw Torrent. He was like, that is not supposed to be allowed.
Yeah. So they all turn on Tornus, and Tornus is sitting there basically 1v1ing God, and is like, I ain't dying today, bitch. And the Stormcast are all able to take a break, and they're like, oh my god, yes, okay, so we were about to die, and oh, look at that, Tornus is kind of getting fucked. We should probably go help him. And so, yeah, this lull in the battle allows all of the...
reform and whatnot.
The Stormhosts to reform, because at this point, they'd lost 2 Stormhosts. There were 8 Stormhosts at the beginning of this big fight. They were now down to 6.
And there was also no battle coherence. The battle was so large and so clusterfucky, there was no rank and file, there was no strategy or any coherency. It was just dudes fighting dudes, and that was it.
Yeah, basically. And so the Stormhosts are able to regroup and figure out a strategy, and they just basically charge straight in there like, Tornus, we're coming for you. And that's what happens. And they kind of crush Nurgle because they were able to just take a moment to step back and then form a glorious charge.
And so I'm pretty sure what happens after this is like the plague shit's still going on, right? So these fucking fire. I think Khorne sends these fucking fire tornadoes.
They're literally living firestorms native to the realm.
Oh yeah, they show up. They're just like, oh yeah, fire tornadoes. Why the fuck not? So I forget which Stormcast it is. It was one of the, I think Lord Selzin's is like, man, there's fire tornadoes.
You know which one it is.
Is it Vandus?
It's Vandus.
Fucking Vandus. So Vandus is like, we got plague flies, we got Khorne, we got Nurgle, we got humans, we got we got Valkia, we got fucking fire tornadoes. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. I can't see or hear a goddamn thing. So what I'm gonna do? Hey Dad, give me a meteor. So Dad gives him a meteor.
Oh no, that was the Celsin Prime. Oh yeah, by the way, at one point the Celsin Prime shows up and is doing kind of shit here.
She's like, yeah, I'm gonna send a meteor down there. And so then the meteor comes down, but then Khorne's like, actually, that's my meteor. And it's not a meteor anymore. It's Scarbrand. Dun 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 dun. Scarbrand's here now.
Yep.
Scarbrand crashes down, and now it's Stormcast versus Khorne, Stormcast versus Nurgle, humans versus Khorne, humans versus Nurgle, Nurgle versus Khorne, Khorne versus Nurgle, Scarbrand versus everyone.
Yeah.
Fire tornadoes and plague flies. That's what's going on right now.
And at one point they do. Vandus does actually figure out that the firestorms recognize the human members of Akshi as like their own, and so they don't fuck with the humans. And so Vandus is basically like, all Stormcast, get your asses in with the humans.
Find your favorite human, give them a hug, do not let go.
Yeah, basically.
Oh god.
So then Scarbrand enters the fray, and his rage burns away the demon flies carrying the plague. They kind of solve that issue. And then I think it's Vandus. It might have been the Celestin Prime. But one of the Stormcast comes up with a plan to activate the Hinge Gate, which is the big realm gate they're currently fighting around. And they activate the Hinge Gate and transport literally everyone to the top of the unreachable mountain.
And they just went from Akshi and fire to mountains and snow.
Yeah, which I believe is still technically an Akshi, but
it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're transported to the top of a mountain. And this is when they create this, like, grand scheme to get to get Scarbrand to purify everyone of the plague.
Yeah, because, like, the flies were dealt with more or less, but they scattered. So they're like, we got to deal with these flies because if they stay on the plane, they're going to spread more plague.
No. It wasn't the flies they were now having to worry with. It's the plague that's already in the system of the humans. So they're like, shit, we got to figure out some way to do this. So what ends up happening is the Stormcast are standing at the top of the mountain, and they're like, hey, Scarbrand, you's a bitch, come get us. And so Scarbrand comes waddling up this mountain, and then they drop the mountaintop. Yeah, no, they blow up the mountaintop, and it kills a lot of the Stormcast Eternals. But what it does do is it drops Scarbrand back into the Realm Gate that they had come through, and he lands on it, shattering the stone that controls the Realm Gate, and the Realm Gate basically explodes, causing Scarbrand to explode. And then because of his unyielding rage, the fact that he wasn't able to get a good fight in, his rage then permeates the entirety of the Ash Plains, or whatever it is that they're called. I think it's the Ash Plains. Permeates the entirety of their
It's the whole continent, basically.
Yeah, basically the whole continent. And his pure, unadulterated rage literally burns the plague from the veins of every mortal near on the realm. The issue is that the ones nearby him also had their heads explode from, not being able to contain that much wrath.
And the only reason why, the Stormcast that were buried underneath the snow from the mountain blowing up weren't affected is because they were buried by snow, and somehow that saved them.
Yeah.
Well, I do know, when all the Stormcasts died, it said like the mountain shook almost as if like it was saddened by their sacrifice or something like that.
No, the heavens.
The heavens. But the cool thing is, so Scarbrand was sitting there about to die, so he lets out this huge ass fucking bellow of rage, and it permeates the whole plane. And this causes
the Ashlands.
Causes a whole lot of problems for Khorne. This does nothing but good things for the humans, because basically you had these cities in the Ash that are being attacked by bloodletters and the forces and the human forces of Khorne and whatnot, and that were kind of getting crumped. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of Khorne's forces' heads blew up because they had too much rage, and all of the scared little girls and boys who were running from the mean forces of Khorne now are picking up broken bottles, wooden chairs, and shivs and going the fucking town on Khorne's forces because they were now filled with rage. Or the ones who were already filled with rage just kind of blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
You ever seen Scanners when their head blows up in Scanners? That's basically what happened. Just dead.
Or no. Better yet, that scene from Kingsman.
Yes. Yep. Just
what song they said that is 1812?
Less fireworks, more blood and gore.
Yes.
Yes.
Tchaikovsky's 1812.
Yeah, Tchaikovsky. Just bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think the only person that actually gets out of that a lot, everyone who was shot through the gate, the only person who was unaffected was Valkia, and that's because she can fly.
Yeah. And Valkia, to a certain extent, she's kind of maxed out on rage, but she can still kind of more or less control her rage.
I think she just fucking dipped. Like
Actually, I think
she
you're
was
right.
like, yeah, like this fight's over. Everyone's dead or buried, and if
Yeah.
you're the dead or you're buried and about to die, like fuck it, I'm on.
And now we get to the part of Scarbrand fucks over Khorne's Day 2.0 with the Battle of the Towery Archipelago.
How Scarbrand fucked over Khorne to the electric boogaloo.
Exactly. So the Stormcasters sent to this archipelago to rescue the clans that had lived in the hills from the forces of Khorne. The issue is that by this point they'd spent basically hundreds of years under constant threat of death from the Bray herds that were following Khorne. So they were all like completely shattered, emotionally speaking.
Like they went from like a decently high society of humans to like troglodyte cave dwellers.
Yeah, basically.
Eating, like, farming, like, semi-edible fungus.
Yep.
Living is living.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you're not wrong. Anyway, so the Stormcast show up, and they're like, come, reclaim your pride, reclaim your land, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, sure, we can totally do that.
Not really,
and then,
no.
like, at some point along the way, like, one of them discovers a statue. Like, and they start worshiping the statue because it gives them power. And they're like, yeah, we're totally worshiping Sigmar. They were not, in fact, worshiping Sigmar. They were, in fact, worshiping Khorne. So, yeah. So this force rise up called the... and they call themselves the Candlemen.
Is real quick, to a certain extent, not only was it Scarbrand, it's also how Khorne fucked over Khorne, too, the electric boogaloo.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so
hey,
these guys...
he cares not from where the blood flows.
Exactly. But no, so... these Candlemen, as they're called, come flooding out from the caves, and they're like, we're gonna fucking murder, yeah! And the Stormcaster's sitting there like, okay, these guys look suspiciously like Khorne berserkers, but they're fighting Khorne, so what the fuck is going on?
You know how a little while ago, when we said, like, hey, should we do something? Like, no, this happened. Part 2.
Yeah, exactly. So literally, like...
It's like, I see the Khorne symbol on the forehead, I'm just choosing to ignore it.
Yeah, so no, literally they're like, okay, look, like, these guys are obviously worshipping chaos, but they're actively fighting chaos, so I guess we just let it slide for the time being. And that's exactly what they do, is they just let it slide. And so the Candlemen start aggressively murdering the Bray herds until the Bray herds send in the big boys.
Minotaurs.
Yeah, they start sending in the big Minotaurs and things like that, and then the Candlemen just get demolished.
And the Stormcast are fighting too at this point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Stormcast are fighting this.
I'm pretty sure I remember that not only the Candlemen, but the Minotaurs also fuck the Stormcast pretty hard.
The Stormcast were doing okay, but when the Candlemen started to rout, they were like, "Oh shit, we're about to die."
Yeah.
And then Scarbrand is like, "Hey, how's it going, y'all? Would y'all like to be filled with unyielding amounts of rage?"
Remember when we said
that is exactly what he does.
Remember when we said it permeated the Ashlands? This was part of the Ashlands.
Oh no, this was a separate event.
I'm pretty sure that
Nope.
they're affected by because Scarbrand wasn't fighting there himself, was he?
No. He was still, I think he was still being reformed at the time. But yeah, he literally looks down from the realm of Khorne and is just like, yell. Yeah, and just yells at them. And everybody on the battlefield is then filled with rage. And the Stormcasts are disciplined enough that they can just power through it. But the Candlemen go into an absolute frenzy and just start aggressively charging the Bray herds. And then the Bray herds, who were already filled with rage, oh, look at that. Their heads fucking exploded. And so, like, a large majority of the Bray herds just fucking died. And yeah, that's how they ended up winning that.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but I love it.
Is that the entirety of that?
Of that particular battle? Yes.
Yeah, the battle for the archipelago.
And
then there's the battles...
oh my god.
Are the Wars of the Flame Lands done? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Then there's
Dude, the next one is a fight that's just as big as the first one we talked about.
Yeah, and then there's the battles, plural, of Orb and Fernia. Seriously, you want to cover that one?
Oh god. I
didn't read any of these, so
guess.
I'll have fun with that.
Yeah, so...
Basically, so the Battle of Orb and Fernia, it actually feeds into a bigger war, which I'm pretty sure is called the War of the Tetrarchs, I think.
No, you got it the other way around. The War of the Tetrarchs is part of the battles of the Orb and Fernia.
I'm gonna let you talk about the whole Corvus Cole yada yada backstabbing shit. I'm just gonna give a brief go over because trying to go through this fucking shit gave me an aneurysm. Basically, the Battle of the Orb and Fernia is a collection of four demon princes who are like the best and brightest of their whatever the fuck.
That's really more.
But they were basically these four demon princes that are leading their own demon hosts who were manipulated by that fucking Slan from the War of Life. What's his name?
So no. So what it was is that the forces of chaos.
Pantika?
Yeah. So the forces of chaos took the region called the Orb Infernia.
Yeah.
And then chaos each granted the four gods of chaos each granted their own like favored demon prince control over the land.
But they said only one got it.
Yeah, they didn't like tell the others that like they were each getting a portion of land. No, they told them that they singularly were taking a portion of the land. It was specifically so they keep
fighting because chaos gods are assholes.
Yeah. Well, also these were four of the most like troublesome demon princes for the
for each of their
for each of their patron gods to control.
What ended up happening was that the Slan, like I said, Zanpatika, I think he was the one from the War of Life, used that against them because he basically kept doing Slan shenanigans like assassinating people, making you break promises, doing all kinds of setup shit specifically to keep these motherfuckers fighting for as long as humanly possible. Because the longer these four fighting each other was the less time they spent fighting the Seraphon, who were a hop, skip, and a jump away, getting fucked by demons.
Yeah. That's the entire setup for the for Orb.
But there's a whole like they got in a fucking alliance, then a bunch of backstabby shit happened, and a bunch of subterfuge and fucking oh my god.
We're getting into that right now. So then what follows is the War of the Tetrarchs. So a Tetrarch is when you get a greater demon or a demon prince from one of each chaos god to work together. So you have the War of the Tetrarchs. And so the four demon princes decide to come together and work together to claim this major realm gate called the God's Eye. The issue is that the space lizards had control of the God's Eye
and they were not having a good time.
Oh yeah, no. So the Slan, these four start assaulting the realm gate, and the Slan basically managed to do Slan things.
Which Slan?
The same
Zanpatika, the one from the War of Life. The same Slan, yeah.
Are we going to get it, like, because he seems to be a pretty powerful Slan. You think we're actually going to get a model of him?
Well, no. Real quick, someone spell his name for me.
XEN apostrophe PHANTICA.
PHA what?
ANTICA.
CA?
We all wait with bated breath.
Nope.
No
model.
Yeah. No model. I knew there wasn't a model. I was going to ask, are we ever going to get a model?
Considering this is from Realmgate, unless we see him again in like Soul Wars or
I hope so.
Dominion.
I fucking hope so because the Seraphon, they have one named character.
Yeah.
One named character that isn't Forge World, and the Forge World ones in my opinion aren't that good.
Yeah.
But it's Croak. It's Croak. Now, not talking shit. Croak's fantastic, as Mitchell found out last night.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
He's great, but like, how many named characters did the Stormcast have?
I don't want to talk about that.
How many named characters does like Chaos have?
I don't want to talk about that.
How many named characters do like
Sylvaneth had 1, 2, 3.
How many named characters do like the Realm Lords have?
Well,
they have fucking Teclis.
3, 4.
They have Teclis, and that's rarely
about
it.
Yeah.
No. They have that name, the Spirit of the Mountain.
I don't know if that's named or is just the Spirit of the Mountain.
No, because they have the Spirit of the Mountain, and then his alternate build in his box is a named character.
Oh.
It's like.
Sorry, I'm currently trying to get a cat to not eat my houseplant.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I just raped your ear.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's how that works. It's just like Shalaxi from my
got it, understood. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I'm not saying that they're the only faction that needs to get some one of them characters, but they're definitely one of them.
Yeah. All right, and then moving on. All right, so yeah, basically the War of the Tetrarchs ends whenever they fail in taking the Realm Gate, and the Slan manages to trick them into breaking their alliance.
Yeah, the Slan just played mind games.
And then Cole shows up.
Yeah.
So remember that demon prince of Khorne that betrayed Cole earlier that we were talking about?
It was the dude, wasn't it?
He was actually here. He was a member of the Tetrarch, and his name
is Skin or something?
Yeah, Skin. And Cole fucking murders him.
Now, Cole, not a demon prince. Skin, a demon prince. Cole, dummy thick.
Cole's scary. Don't you have him as a model?
I actually have Cole as a model, and he actually has I forget how the ability is worded, but basically he can boop you with his axe. He can be like, oh, is that an Archeon with 28 wounds there? Insta-dead.
Yeah. Corvus Cole is like a lord of Khorne.
That's exactly what he is, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not technically a demon prince, but I think he's technically more powerful than a demon prince. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, point is, he fucking murders that bitch.
Oh, yeah, hardcore.
And then Cole proceeds...
I'm actually pulling him up because he doesn't have a model. I'm checking him out.
Yeah, and then Cole proceeds to just start aggressively murdering the Seraphon. Because the Seraphon, all of their magic and whatnot, targets demons. And all of their wards and spells and shields kept demons out. But like I emphasized earlier, Cole's followers are mostly mortal.
And he is mortal. So, he has the keyword. He's just mortal.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so he is just mortal.
He is a mighty lord of Khorne.
Now, I'm going to ask, why didn't that name Slan Man just send him off to space like he did with Scarbrand earlier?
Because Cole has, like, a small fraction of Archeon's plot armor.
Yeah.
Got it.
But no, real quick, the ability I was talking about, it's called Reality Splitting Axe. At the end of any phase, if any wounds inflicted by this model's Axe of Khorne in that phase were allocated to an enemy model and not negated, and that enemy model has not been slain, roll a dice. On a 5-up, the model is slain.
Yeah. So you just have a 5-up ability.
You have a 5-up ability to kill literally anything you wound if you don't outright kill it naturally.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Oh, because he has a mount. He has a Hound of Khorne with him. One of the Flesh Hounds. He can deny a spell.
Ah. Yeah. So yeah, and then he ends up rebinding the Tetrarch to him. So the other 3 demon princes are basically like, yeah, Cole's kind of aggressively stomping the lizards. We're going to follow him now. And so he reforges the Tetrarch and binds them to his will. Which then leads us into...
He takes that portal, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does seize the God's Eye.
Did the lizards just yeet?
They tried their best. They ended up throwing, like, a general on the back of a Saurus at him, and he just kind of one-tapped the Saurus. I think he actually ends up killing the Slan, which is probably why we'll never see a model of him.
What?
Yeah.
What? I gotta read this now. Unacceptable.
Yeah, no, because his axe technically doesn't exist in reality. And so he, like, yeets the axe, and the Slan is like, magic shields! And then his magic shields do fuck all to stop that axe.
If my Slan man's dead, I'm gonna be kind of offended.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Corvus Cole just kind of beat the shit out of
the fact that Vandus 1v1s this man on multiple occasions and doesn't get fucking annihilated kind of
really says something.
Goes for show.
Well, I mean, to be fair, every time Vandus kind of has to get his ass bailed out. Like, Sigmar kind of has to step in every time and save his ass.
But he doesn't just die.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he takes that axe to the chest and goes, blech.
Oh, well, fucking rip.
Yeah, I don't know. Mitchell, you got it pulled up right there on your computer. Go look at it.
Oh. What? Which battle was this one again?
Down.
No. I'm going back up to the table of contents.
Oh my god. This is going to be the Cole's Conquest under the War of the Tetrarchs not under War of the Tetrarchs. Cole's Conquest under Battles of Orb Infernia. It'll be at the end.
Weapon towards passing through the stellar wards and slew him. Yep,
he's dead. My Slan Man!
My Battletoad.
Yep. And it's funny because he was one of the more powerful Slan that still existed. Anyway, moving on to the Siege of Crescent Isle. This one's all you, Sears.
I'm in the throes of grief. I'm going to need a second.
All right, you've had a second.
Wow, what a bitch.
You can't miss what you've never had. And let's be honest.
Okay, motherfucker, you get to do this last point. You can suck my salty balls. How about that one?
I mean, you'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'm getting pretty tired, and these hiccups are killing me. Oh god.
The Siege of Crescent Isles. It was basically Archeon wanting Ignax, the god beast that Grimnir had chained up in Shimon to give the land permanent eternal sun.
It's a really bad meme.
Not wrong. Archeon walked in on the dwarves.
Oh god.
And the Gortide followed. And they basically they were fighting the dwarves in the Stormcast. So they're going for Ignax, and he's chained up at like the ceiling of the plains. He's fucking way up there. But they actually end up getting up there because they like knock one of the chains down, and the chains are so large they just ride the chains up.
So back during one of the times Scarbrand had been screaming about how angry he is.
Ignax, it affected Ignax.
Yeah, it affected Ignax, and Ignax kind of went insane for a little bit and managed to start like breaking the chains.
It also tuckered Ignax out, which is important.
Yes. No, he did eventually like kind of collapse in exhaustion.
So the Stormcast joined the dwarves to fight off Archeon and his Varangard, and they were doing a decent job for a little bit. I mean, Archeon was still doing Archeon things, but as far as the Varangard is concerned, they were fighting that off decently well. But this was kind of all to Archeon's plan, because then the Gortide came in on the dwarves unannounced and routed the dwarves hard, and the Stormcast were doing.
The dwarves never seem to be doing good.
The dwarves get fucked hard in AOC, in the Age of Chaos. Like, the dwarves aren't doing good until Carlin Overlords. Dirt dwarves. So the
Dowie.
They really don't do too good until the Carlin Overlords take to the sky and tell Tzeentch to go fuck himself.
Well, that's during the Age of Chaos.
Yeah, but it's close to the end, if I remember correctly. But, like, basically, besides that, the dwarves just don't have a good time.
By Grimnir's left
nut
are we cursed.
So, the Stormcast are doing what they can, but it's Archeon. Like,
they end up sending in like 3 Lord Celestins.
Hey, you want to come and sit back down in this chair?
No, this is actually helping my hiccups. I'm sorry.
Oh. They send in like 3 Lord Celestins, and it just means fuck all.
Yeah, on Star Drakes.
So eventually, Archeon gets to Ignax. The dwarves are like, this is fucking unacceptable. And the dwarves already kind of knew what he was going to do. So they hop on, I forget what the beasts are called, but they're basically beasts that can hop on Ignax and not get disintegrated by his autistically large amount of heat and flames.
Yeah, it's like Magaroths.
Yeah. So they're crawling up Ignax, and basically all of them die except for one, and he's able to strike a super old rune of control onto
the father
Ignax.
Rune of binding.
Yes. To basically fuck, where was I? Oh, yeah, sorry. Temporary brain fart. So all of the dwarves, I think there are 3 or 4 of them, crawl up Ignax, and they all just disintegrate. They get turned into nothing, except for one, and he's able to pound the rune, and like Phil said, it was the Father Rune of Command, because they knew Archeon was binding. Yeah, sorry. They knew that Archeon was probably trying to gain control of Ignax, which is exactly what he was doing. So they pound the last dwarf pounds I forget his name, but he pounds the rune into Ignax, and then he also disintegrates. And so then Archeon flies Drogu up there, and he fucking hops on Ignax's skull. And just so y'all know, Ignax is so large, he basically coils around the sun. Like, his head is the size of an island. Like, this Drake is fucking massive. As Archeon hops onto him and stabs the Slayer King into his skull and lets the demon inside of his sword corrupt Ignax and brings him almost to the point of insanity, but not fully. But Archeon now has control, and Archeon's like, haha, herder, fuck the Stormcast, fuck the dwarf, and he fucks off with Ignax in tow. And this comes into play in a later battle that happens later. I forget the premise of what... Oh, that's what it is. So Archaon takes Ignax and lets Ignax rest. They go somewhere Akshi to rest because Ignax is fucking exhausted because the whole Scarbrand anger thing and being corrupted, he just needs... The dragon needs to rest. And so they're sitting there resting, and then they get attacked later on by a force of Stormcast and Dwarves. So they attack Archaon and Ignax. And so Ignax gets roused. Archaon's like, haha, fuck these guys, send in the dragon. And then there's a dwarf there, a master, like a master rune, who's like, haha, fuck you, activates the rune. It completely clears Ignax's mind of corruption and completely takes control of the dragon. And so now the dwarf is like, eat the Chaos Warriors. And that's basically what the dragon does. It hardcore fucks Archaon and his troops. But the power it takes to control this dragon is so severe and so taxing that this master rune lord was in he was peak performance dwarf. He was in his prime. And in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes, he basically rapidly ages into a shell of a dwarf. Like old, hobbled by age, thin, frail. I think he actually dies. But in the short amount of time that he actually managed to control the Drake, he fucked Chaos hard, which was the plan all along. So then Ignax is sitting there completely free of all control for the first time since the Age of Myth because Grimnir bound the Drake in the Age of Myth. So Ignax is like, holy shit, I'm free now. And after being trained up by the dwarfs, corrupted by chaos, and then re-controlled by the dwarfs, you know what Ignax does? Just kind of tells everyone to eat a massive dick and leaves.
And Ignax is a god beast, right?
Yes, Ignax is a god beast. Yes, full on elemental deity of chaos, of fire, basically. But yeah, no, Ignax fucks off. He doesn't hurt or kill anyone. Once he regains control, he's just like, you know what? I'm done with all of those machinations of mortals and gods alike. Fuck this, I'm out, and just goes and hides in a volcano or behind an island or something like that. Just straight, just hard fucks off.
Good for him. He deserves a vacation.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm pretty sure it ended up being a victory for the Stormcast, even though Archaon was there because they had to retreat because Ignax fucked. Yeah, when you basically have just it's a dragon. It's like Jormungandr. It's just this dragon that is autistically long and is so hot that it can basically disintegrate you from miles away.
Yeah.
So yeah, there wasn't much they could do there. And that's pretty much the last super important battle of the Realmgate Wars up until the final battle, which is the fight of the 8 points.
I don't think that's actually
which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, no.
Because while the Realmgate Wars are technically done, the wars are over, the final battle has not yet taken place, I believe, which is the final assault of the Grand Order of the Grand Alliance of Order. Tries to take back 8 points and turn it back into the all points because you all remember from one of our last videos, the all points, which is what the 8 points were before Archaon turned into 8 points, was basically a nexus of travel between all the realms, and that's what made it so easy for Chaos to kerfuckle everyone in the Age of Chaos was because they basically had the subway train to every single mortal realm at their beck and call.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably revisit this at a later date when they actually get to that.
Yep,
but. That is the entirety of the Realmgate Wars. So when you think about it, what all was accomplished during the Realmgate Wars is destroyed a lot of realm gates that led to the Realm Chaos. They got Galmaraz back.
They got their Celestial Prime awake.
They got Alariel.
They got Alariel back. They have Nagash back.
He's not part of the Order, but he's back and he kills Chaos just as much as he kills Stormhost. So it's a neutral win.
Yeah, and
they unfucked the dwarves.
Yep. And so the dwarves have become more prevalent, so they could start organizing a whole lot better.
They stopped the Gortide, which was a big fucking deal because the Gortide.
Yeah, that was 2 realms.
Yeah, they did stop the Gortide to a certain extent, but you have to keep in mind that Cole is now in charge of that Tetrarch, and so he now has demons,
and that's fine. Because compared to what his power was, it is not the Gortide is not as strong as it was. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of ground. They've lost a lot of members. They've suffered many defeats.
Thank you, Scarbrand.
Right. All in all, it was a very costly war, but basically, mortals were able to take back the realms. What it was, it was gonna be total victory for Chaos, and then it wasn't because Stormcast were time to rally. And that's basically what happened. So it was shitty, but it was necessary.
I spend 1 command point to rally.
Oh, I think the last time we actually did like research, so it's Freya that makes the mess because she doesn't eat over the goddamn cat bowl.
What a bitch.
Oh,
Good to
your
know.
cat sucks.
Looks at the countless times your cat has eaten your own bread, but moving on.
Yeah, no, my cat has bread for some stupid reason.
And my bread. 3 loaves to be exact.
And my bread.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Moving on.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So that's the entirety of the Realmgate Wars.
And it was 1 hour and 54 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
this is one of the longer ones. But yeah,
Actually, it's one of the shorter ones.
we haven't gone almost 2 hours in a while.
Fair point.
Yeah, a lot of ours are hour and a half, hour 45. Our longest one was the Ages, and that was like an hour and 40 fucking minutes.
No, it was like 2.5
Sorry,
hours.
2 hours and 40 minutes. Yeah, my bad. But like I said at the beginning, the Realmgate Wars, if not the most, is most definitely one of the most important things to happen in Age of Sigmar lore, just in general, because everything that's happening right now was facilitated by the Realmgate
And the
Wars.
things that happen in the Realmgate Wars, such as like Alariel's rebirth, it's affecting events till now. Because
that's why Kragnos is back.
Yeah, that's why Kragnos is back. That's the reason why the Cruel Boys are coming back up, because they realize that Kragnos is back.
I think the reason why Croak's back is because he's more active, because he realized Kragnos is back, and that's a problem.
Yeah. That's why the Draconith are becoming more active again.
It was very much a catalyst for greater things to happen.
Yeah.
But I think, are we still in Soul Wars right now?
No.
No,
We're in Dominion.
We are in Dominion.
but we're in Dominion. Gotcha.
We're in the Realm of Beasts.
Yeah.
Or Age of Beasts.
Age of Destruction.
Era of Beasts? Oh, I say Era of Beasts because right now we're still in the Age of Sigmar, so it's the Era of Beasts.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, first edition was Realmgate, second edition was Soul Wars, third edition is going to be Dominion.
Which I need to read that book.
Yeah, it's basically the beasts are starting to play their games.
The Beast isn't like the Beast of Gru.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
so
the Cruel Boys.
So we might see like
Sons of Behemoth.
the orcs, the Sons of Behemoth,
we got
the Maw tribes.
Dragon Ogre Shaggoths as an army or as a unit.
No, they are a unit. They're just chaos.
Are Dragon Ogre Shaggoths still?
Yeah.
Are they still a unit you can use?
Yeah.
Yes, dragon ogres are still a very potent arm of chaos.
What about do we have Dragon Ogres or do we have Shaggoths as well?
Shaggoths as well.
So they're still chaos aligned.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I know. I wish they weren't. I wish they were just like
Destruction.
Yeah.
The issue is that in order to gain their powers, they made a pact with chaos.
That's how they have the lightning shit.
Yeah, that's their new lore. Is that they made a pact with chaos, and
Well, that's how it was in the
world
that was, I believe.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
they made some sort of
So the
chaos.
pact carried over from the old world. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah. That's probably going to be the official end of the episode. We can make some quick announcements. Again, don't be afraid to reach out to us on Facebook. Kat, are you messing with things? Nope, you're sitting down. Don't worry. Don't be afraid to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter. We're pretty responsive. We're also going to start getting to the point we're going to be asking y'all questions of like what you want the next episode to be.
Yeah, we're gonna be solidifying. We are going to be solidifying our social media presence because we very much like we have a couple more things we want to talk about that we've had in our like episode plan since before we even started. But once we get done with those things, we very much want to be like, hey, here's this poll of things we're thinking about doing. What do y'all want us to do most? And we have like I think we've done over 500 downloads and whatnot. So you motherfuckers are clearly watching us. So it is definitely soon going to be in y'all's court because we want to give you the content that y'all want to listen to. So, very much like don't be afraid to reach out to us and things like that because we want y'all's opinion and we want to know what y'all want to listen to so we can provide that for y'all.
Yeah, I think the next one we're probably supposed to go over was the Necroquake and Soul Wars. because that was the second edition, and then we're probably going to just hit God Beast as a one thing that we kind of just want to cover that's not more of an order type of thing.
Yeah. Are we going to want to go over factions, or...
I would like to at some point.
I think factions may have been like just a good like let's sprinkle him in, because like I don't want to sit there and do the next, let's say, year of just factions,
Right.
because it's a lot to talk about and there's a lot of lore within each faction.
Yeah. That is a lot of shit. If we wanted to do it as like the last of our like planned episode, it would need to be vague, like maybe a 2-parter, and we each get like 5 factions a piece in 2 episodes or something like that. It would need to be a vague thing.
We'll talk about
it. There's so much, like, it would take for fucking ever.
Yeah, we will definitely just talk about it off podcast and come up with the best solution.
Yeah, but Soul Wars and Necroquake should be next, and that is when Nagash tried to kill everyone.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And then Skaven fucked it up.
Yeah,
and I think the Necroquakes are why we have endless spells, right?
Yes.
So does that mean that endless spells weren't in first? So endless spells weren't in first edition.
They weren't in. Yeah, no, they weren't in first edition.
And they got introduced in second.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So a lot of these rules are always going to be very thematic since it's the era of beasts. That's why monsters do more special actions.
You have monster actions and shit in third edition. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love
that's
a
lot.
That's
why thunder lizards are so good, and that's why like you can what other factions really? Oh, fucking Sons of Behemoth, and why they're so good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty good beforehand, even so. But yeah, no, there's very thematic, very 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 enjoyable. Yeah, I think that is about it for us.
Yeah.
Today.
Yep.
Thank y'all for stopping by and listening, and we will see all of y'all in 2 weeks.
Yeah, boy.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.